Rome, even the name commands respect. It whispers of power. It hints at brutality. The Roman Empire, a name synonymous with military might, vast wealth and unparalleled cultural influence. But have you ever stopped to consider how this unstoppable force came to be? How did a small city-state in the heart of Italy rise to conquer much of the known world? The answer, like most things ancient and monumental, is shrouded in myth and legend. Our story begins not with legions or emperors, but with two brothers, Romulus and Remus. Their tale is one of ambition, betrayal, and ultimately fratricide. It's a story that lays the foundation for one of the most influential empires in human history. Prepare yourself, for we are about to journey back to the very dawn of Rome, to a time when gods and monsters walked the earth, and destiny was decided by the edge of a sword. Can you imagine a time before Rome? A time when the very hills it stood upon were wild and untamed? It's hard to fathom, isn't it? But it was in this world, in the 8th century BC, that our story begins. The legend begins with Rhea Silvia, a Vestal virgin, forced into service to the gods. Vestal virgins were forbidden from marriage or bearing children. Their purity was essential to the Roman state. But Rhea Silvia, so the story goes, is visited by the god Mars. Their union results in the birth of twins, Romulus and Remus. This presented a problem. These were not ordinary children, they were demigods, the product of a forbidden romance. Their very existence posed a threat to the throne of Amulius, the then king of Alba Longa. Amulius, fearful of their claim to power, orders the twins to be drowned in the Tiber River. Think about that for a second. Imagine the fear gripping Amulius's heart, so potent that he would order the death of infants. The soldier tasked with this grim duty, however, couldn't bring himself to kill the babies. He left them in a basket by the overflowing river. He hoped against hope that fate would be kinder to them than his orders allowed. The river, swollen with winter rains, carried the basket downstream. It eventually came to rest at the foot of Palatine Hill. It was there, according to legend, that a she-wolf found them. This wasn't just any wolf, this was Lupa, a creature of myth and legend, a beast tied to the fate of Rome itself. Lupa, instead of devouring the infants, took them in as her own. She nurtured them, suckled them, protected them from the harsh realities of the wild. This image, the twins suckling at the teat of the she-wolf, would become forever etched in Roman mythology. Imagine that, two helpless infants left to die, saved by a creature of the wild. It almost sounds like something out of a fable, doesn't it? Later, a shepherd named Faustulus discovered the twins living with the she-wolf in a cave. He took them in and raised them as his own alongside his wife. It was here, in the wilds of what would become Rome, that Romulus and Remus grew into strong, capable young men. As they grew, so did their ambition. They became natural leaders, attracting a band of loyal followers, mostly shepherds and outcasts drawn to their strength and charisma. They learned of their true lineage, of their royal bloodline, of the injustice they had suffered. This ignited a fire in their bellies, a thirst for what they believed was rightfully theirs, the throne of Alba Longa. They overthrew Amulius, avenging their mother and restoring their grandfather to the throne. But their ambition didn't end there. They yearned to build a city of their own, a city that would surpass even the greatness of Alba Longa. And this is where the story takes a tragic turn. Can you feel the tension building? The twins, however, disagreed on a fundamental issue, the location of their new city. Romulus favored Palatine Hill, while Remus preferred Aventine Hill. Their rivalry, once a source of strength, now threatened to tear them apart. They agreed to let the gods decide, seeking guidance through the ancient art of augury. Section 5. Rise of a King. Each brother prepared a sacred space on their chosen hill and waited for a sign, an omen from the heavens. Remus, so the story goes, saw 6 vultures first. He believed this to be the sign, a clear indication of divine favor. But Romulus, not to be outdone, claimed to have seen 12 vultures. This sparked a furious debate. Whose claim was stronger? Who had the true favor of the gods? The argument escalated into violence. In a fit of rage, Romulus killed Remus. Just like that, brother killed brother, their bond shattered by ambition and the weight of destiny. Imagine the scene, the shock, the horror, the blood staining the ground where Remus fell. This wasn't just a personal tragedy. It was a pivotal moment in history. With Remus dead, Romulus became the sole ruler of the newly founded city. He named it after himself, Rome. It was a brutal beginning, a stark reminder that the path to power is often paved with blood. Section 6. Building a city, building a nation. Romulus, now king, faced the daunting task of building a city from scratch. He needed people, he needed laws, he needed to ensure the survival of this fledgling settlement in a world fraught with danger. He opened Rome's gates to outcasts, refugees and exiles, offering them sanctuary and a chance to be part of something new, something great. He established the Senate, a council of elders, to advise him and help govern the growing population. He created a system of laws and institutions, laying the groundwork for a system of governance that would, in time, influence the world. But Rome, even under Romulus's rule, wasn't without its challenges. What do you think it took to build a city in those times? What challenges do you think Romulus faced? One of the most pressing issues was the lack of women. The neighboring tribes, wary of Rome's growing power, refused to allow their women to marry Roman men. This could have been the undoing of Rome, but Romulus, ever the cunning strategist, devised a plan. Section 7. The Mysterious Disappearance. He announced a grand festival in honor of Neptune, inviting their neighbors, the Sabines, to partake in the festivities. The Sabines, unsuspecting of Romulus's true intentions, arrived with their families in tow. During the festivities, at a pre-arranged signal, the Roman men seized the Sabine women, carrying them off to be their wives. This event, known as the Rape of the Sabine Women, would become another key part of Rome's founding myth. It illustrated the lengths to which Romulus was willing to go to ensure the survival and growth of his city. It also led to a war with the Sabines, a war that would ultimately result in the integration of the Sabines into Roman society. But what of Romulus himself? How did his reign end? His end, much like his life, is shrouded in mystery. One day, while reviewing his troops, a storm descended upon the Palatine Hill. When the storm cleared, Romulus was gone. Some say he ascended to heaven, becoming a god himself, reunited with his father, Mars. Others claim he was murdered by his enemies, his body spirited away in the chaos. Section 8. A legacy forged in time. Whatever the truth, Romulus vanished from the world as mysteriously as he had entered it. But his legacy lived on. He wasn't just a king, he was a legend, a symbol of Rome's ambition, its ruthlessness, its unwavering will to survive. He laid the foundation for what would become one of the greatest empires in human history, an empire that would leave an indelible mark on Western civilization. His story, a blend of myth and reality, serves as a reminder of the power of ambition, the allure of legend, and the enduring influence of ancient Rome. Think about it. How many other figures from antiquity still hold such sway over our imaginations? His story wasn't just about the founding of a city. It was about the birth of an idea, the idea of Rome, of its destiny, of its unwavering pursuit of greatness. Section 9. Echoes of Rome. Even today, millennia after his supposed reign, the echoes of Romulus's Rome can be felt. From our laws and systems of governance to our language, architecture and art, the influence of Rome is undeniable. We see it in the names of our months, in the structure of our calendar, in the very foundations of Western civilization. The story of Romulus, whether entirely true or not, continues to captivate and inspire. It reminds us of the power of myth, the weight of history, and the enduring legacy of one of the greatest empires ever known. What other stories from ancient Rome have captured your imagination? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating events. Until next time, keep exploring the past.